Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Trina. I am here of Ask Aloma, and I basically on this channel will be answering your day-to-day questions about different situations, different scenarios, and focusing on self-love, relationships, self-love that involves relationships, and all the good things. So I'm basically here to serve you. So if you have a question of the day that you'd like me to respond to next, put it in the comments below. The first topic that I want to talk about today, as far as responding to a situation, is how do you get over a breakup, right? We have a tendency to mourn a breakup even when it was so toxic or so traumatic in the way that it ends or the way that it ended up being. And we still find ourselves mourning and missing the person that we know we shouldn't be with. My response to that is we usually don't mourn people, even though it feels like that's what we're doing. We normally mourn our fantasies, right? What I mean by that is if you were given the opportunity to create the best version of your mate that you could possibly create, it would look totally different from the person that you think you're mourning when it comes down to mourning a loss of a relationship. The mate that you create will look a whole lot different. You may say, well, but I love him, right? But the question is, if the version of him, his twin brother, right, long lost brother, nobody knew existed, came and he was everything that you wanted this one to be. He was everything that one was not 100% of. For example, if he communicates with you, he doesn't cheat on you, he doesn't fight you, he doesn't embarrass you, disrespect you, he doesn't do all the things that the original person did, would you want the original person or would you want the one that was more respectable, more into you, more loving? Of course, you would pick the one that more loving. The reason we mourn the ones that are toxic, or the ones, even the ones that don't display those characteristics necessarily. The question would be: would you create your ideal mate to be someone who leaves you, right? Someone who leaves during hard times, or someone who, whatever the reason for the breakup, right? Whether they left you for somebody else or they left you because, without even giving you an opportunity to, heal or change or whatever it is, right? I'm not saying that anybody have to give anybody an opportunity to do anything, but your ideal mate would be someone who would allow you to be who you are, right? So when you create these mates, they rarely do they look like the ones that you're mourning. Rarely do they look like the ones that you're mourning when you are realistic. The person who left you, who cheated on you, who abandoned you, who ghosted you, all these different things, you wouldn't ask for that in an ideal relationship, right? So, what exactly are you mourning? Why do you miss them so much, right? Oh, yeah, it could be the physical thing, but the physical thing is just that. It's just a physical thing. What you're truly mourning is the fantasy of what you thought that individual could be, right? You created this fantasy of you and this person in this dream world where he was all the things that you needed him to be, or she was all the things that you needed her to be. And this person turned out to not be that, right? So you try to fantasize and create or recreate that person and mold them into that person that you have fantasized that they could be. And when they don't live up to it, we feel like we're missing the person who was never that to start with. So, what exactly are you mourning? The thing to remember is this: if we created a situation in our head, a ideal person in our head, the thing is we created the feelings that came with that, right? When that person who didn't even fit inside of that box leaves, what we're doing is we're attaching our feelings to that person so that when they leave, we feel as if they're taking our feelings with them, right? But imagine if you can detach those emotions from an individual. They're yours, right? They're yours, which means they exist somewhere. But if you can detach those emotions from that individual, I believe the mourning process would be a whole lot easier because we'll realize that if I can dream it, it can be, right? It can be a reality. This person just wasn't the one to make that become the reality for us, right? So when you're mourning, and yes, we go through a process because we miss the physical, we miss all the other things. But if you had to create your perfect person, I don't care about how, whatever else this person had, did, or whatever. When it comes down to the person that you would create for you, would it have the characteristics that this individual had? Not the potential, but who they actually were. Would it be those people? If you took that person, stripped away their physical, stripped away their body, the visual of them, and put anybody else in that uh, characteristic, in that personality, would that be the person you would mourn? We mourn our fantasies. And it's up to us to realize that our emotions, our fantasies are ours, right? It's ours. So if a person leaves your life, you have shared your life for a short time with someone, right? And that person that you truly think that you're mourning, that you desire, who you thought this person had the potential to be, may very well still be out there waiting for you. Go through your process, go through your mourning process because we are human. We miss individuals, even if they're not the best for us. Go through your process, but don't stay in it for too long because you're truly, truly not mourning that individual. You're mourning your fantasy, and those are yours. Those emotions, those are yours, and you get to keep those. I hope that helps.